All right, so here we are out for a ride today. We're on the Greenway. I said I was going to make a video of the Greenway, and this is the start of it. This is Jeffersonville, Indiana, and this Greenway goes along the Ohio through a bunch of parks, and throughout the video I will be documenting various places that are along the Greenway, and I hope you enjoy it. This is one of my favorite places to ride. I love the Greenway because there's no cars. There's no cars. It's just bicycle and foot traffic. This part I'm on right now was just added, I think last year, the year before. You can see the signs up there. Bicycles keep right, pedestrians keep on the left. It's a really nice place to ride. A lot of people use it. It goes all the way to New Albany. We'll probably go about halfway today, and I'll stop the video so that it's not too long. Here we're coming up on a little park down by the Ohio River. Got all these geese here. Got to dodge the geese. Make sure we don't hit them. See the Ohio River there on my left. Lots of people. No, well, not lots, but there's a few people out on the Greenway today. It's kind of cloudy and overcast, kind of cold. I thought it was going to be like a lot warmer today than it is. Probably should have wore pants today, but I'm in shorts. But I got my rain suit in case it starts raining, because there's a possibility of rain. All right, we got to cover the camera for a minute. There's children here. I don't film children, especially other people's children. That's just not cool. All right, past the little playground there. And these geese are everywhere today. Now we're coming down to Falls of the Ohio. It's a little park. I stop here a lot. Cook food. I like to cook food down here. They have a couple grills. They have some picnic tables. It's a nice quiet spot. And Falls of the Ohio is like it's a fossil bed. It's like 300,000 years old. They have an interpretive center you can go in. It's pretty neat. We'll be coming up on that here in a minute. On a hot day, on a real hot day, this is a especially nice stop on the ride because there's a lot of trees, a lot of shade. And there's always a lot of little sticks on the ground that you can use to start a fire in their grills and cook some food. Of course, you know, I've always got my stove with me, my propane stove. It's all paved all the way over. It's real nice. On my left, you can't see it, but there's an area down there. It's nothing but a big sand beach. It's really cool. I've been down there. Like when I come down to the Falls of the Ohio to go to the fossil beds, it's like a big sandy beach. It's really cool, and there's a lot of debris that washes up, like driftwood and different things that wash up from the Ohio River when it's in flood stage. It grabs things and pulls them down, and then they end up resting on here. You might be able to see it here. Yeah. You see down there? That is actually a sandy beach down there on the Ohio. You can see there's what looks like a propane tank down there wedged into the sand where it floated down the river and then ended up laying there. There's tires and all kinds of stuff. So you can go down right here. But it, like the sign says, when you hear the siren, that's because they're opening the floodgate, and you have to get off the fossil bed because the water's gonna come and flood over the fossil beds. We'll go up here. So you can see more of the Falls of the Ohio. The Interpretive Center, we're coming up on it. Costs like, I think, $9. So yeah, I went, it was free. They have days where it's free, but it's pretty cool. It tells all about the early primitive people that lived here, the Native Americans that were here. It tells you all the information about the fossils and what animals you find in the fossil beds. And it looks like there's a lot of fishermen down there today. We'll turn around right up here, and you'll be able to see more of it. Go up here and turn around. There's the Falls of the Ohio Interpretive Center right there. And right there, you can see the big floodgates. They close them down, and then over there's a wall that separates the Ohio. And when they close that floodgate, all the water goes around and it lowers the water. You can see there's a lot of people out there fishing in their boats. It's a big fishing spot. And all the fossil beds run all along this. Usually the water's even lower when people are down there looking at the fossil beds. But it's pretty cool. I like to walk along the bottom of it and get to the sandy part and just sit and relax. It's really nice. You wouldn't think there'd be a sandy beach in Indiana, but there is. We'll go back down here to get up back on the Greenway. It's a pretty cool spot. A lot of fishermen down there today. Good thing to be doing. One guy's out there wading. Got some waders on. He's wading out there. We'll go back down here to get on the Greenway here. Indiana's pretty nice. It's very, it's got a lot of nice trees and forests. Morning. All right. Across this road here, and here's the Greenway. To me, this is the official start of the Greenway, but they added that section on, so I mean, it all leads the same place. And I don't know when they're going to finish, but they required the Monon Railroad, the city of New Albany and some other counties got together and bought it. They got the money, I think, from the state of Indiana, and they're gonna have this attached somehow to the other part, and it's supposed to go through 5 counties. It'll be 72 miles long, and it'll be the biggest greenway in all of Indiana. And I keep trying to find online, when it's going to be finished, but I just never can seem to find any information about the proposed date when it'll be finished. Some of the counties have already done their part. I wish the whole thing was finished. That would be a great weekend ride, especially because there's some campgrounds along it, like Deem Lake. Be really nice. Ride to a campground, camp out for a couple days, ride the trail some more, maybe find another campground, because it's going to go by some state parks, I believe. This is like, there's only a few road crossings on our greenway. This is one of them. There's not a whole lot of places I found to ride in Indiana. There's a lot of, Jeffersonville and Clarksville kind of, meld together, and there's a lot of sidewalks and stuff. They've been putting in a lot more bike lanes, but they're not everywhere. And I've talked to the local police department, and they, it's against the law to ride on a sidewalk on your bicycle, but they've all told me the same thing. If there's no bike lane, they would actually prefer that you ride on the sidewalk rather than see you get hit and, maybe killed by a car, which I think is kind of cool of them, and there's not a lot of people that are, every once in a while, if you're on a sidewalk, you might see somebody walking, but it's not that often. This to my left, this forest over here, there's a trail down there, but it's for walking only. You cannot ride your bike on it, because I guess it's preservation of this forest. You're only allowed to walk. You cannot ride your bike down there, which I think is a shame. Morning. I think it's a real shame, because it's a real pretty area, but I think they also do it because if they allowed people to ride their bikes down there, there's a big homeless population here, because we're just across the bridge from Louisville, Kentucky, and it's right on the other side of the Ohio, and they would probably try camping out down in there. They have caught people camping down in that forest, and they always, make them leave. This part of it is not very picturesque, but it's still a nice ride. It's a great place to ride. On the weekends, it's really busy. You see a lot of cyclists, a lot of people walking, running. I've seen like 5 people running today. Here's a couple people were coming up on there walking. Goes by some neighborhoods. If you lived in one of these little neighborhoods, it'd be really cool, because you could access the greenway. All the streets that run along the greenway, they all have access points to the greenway, and it would be really cool to be able to see. Here's a prime example of what I'm talking about. I'll see if I can get where you can see it. Let's see. If you can see it, there's a cart down there. Looks like maybe some kind of collapsible cart or a shopping cart. So what happens there is the homeless people go down there and they need a place to stay, and they go into the woods down there. There's a guy on an e-bike pulling a little trailer with kids in it. I'm glad. I'm not an e-bike fan, but I'm glad, that guy's older. Probably the e-bike helps him pull that little trailer, the weight of it. So he gets out on a bike. I think that's cool. Not a huge fan of e-bikes. Don't hate them, but just not a huge fan. There goes another e-bike. He's cruising. See a lot of people walking with backpacks too. Probably, maybe they're hikers practicing for when they hike, like keeping their legs in shape. Morning. I also like the Greenway because it's like if you're a cyclist and that's all you have for transportation, and maybe you live in New Albany but you work in Jeff, instead of having to be on the busy streets with all the cars, you could just jump on the Greenway and ride from New Albany to Jeff, or Jeff to New Albany for your job. And it's a nice ride. It's it's very relaxing to ride up here because you don't have to deal with any traffic except other cyclists and pedestrians. Big benefit. I hope this video turns out well. I hope I got the camera pointed, at the Greenway, hoping you can see a lot of it. If you're ever in southern Indiana, Jeffersonville, Clarksville area, and you're a rider, make sure you take a ride on the Greenway. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's 7 miles from here, from Jeffersonville to New Albany. So if you ride all the way over to New Albany and back, you've done a 14-mile trip. Not that I'm big on tracking miles or anything. I don't really care about that. I just want to ride my bike. I have previous videos of the Greenway, but I didn't have a mic then, so they're probably not as good because the wind destroyed all the sound. Came out last week, I was going to do this, and then I forgot my mic. Morning. It's good that cities and towns put in places like this so that people have a place to, get out and get some exercise without having to worry about traffic, and they can be isolated from the traffic and have a nice place to ride. Especially with some parks along it where you can stop and cook food. Because you all know, if you've watched my videos, I'm real big on that. I got food to cook today. I brought some, got up this morning and made some macaroni salad. And boiled up some sweet Italian sausage. I always boil it before I cook it. And I got it in a container with some onions. I'm going to fry that up later. Had me a nice lunch. Took a PTO day today. Was going to go on the ride. Today's National Ride Your Bike to Work Day. And there was a group meeting down at the park in Jeffersonville at 7:30 a.m. But they were going over to Louisville, and I don't go to Louisville. I don't like big cities. So I just skipped it, and I said, well, I'm going to get a ride in today. That's what I took PTO for. I'm going to make me a video for all my subscribers and even people that aren't subscribers. And that's what I'm out doing today. And even though it's a cooler day, I'm not cold. It's not that bad. It's just cloudy and overcast. It's kind of nice though, because on a hot day you just sweat and sweat and sweat, and you drink a ton of water, and then after a while you're like, ugh. Morning, brother. So here we're coming up on this is Lewis and Clark Bicentennial Park, I believe, and it's another one of my favorite spots along the Ohio. And if you've noticed in the video, there's not a whole lot of places. There's like there's not a lot of restrooms along here. So if you end up having to go to the bathroom, you're just kind of screwed. I mean, there's a lot of places you could probably duck off in the woods and just, you know, use it, you know, as a restroom, but I think they should put some kind of way to have some kind of restrooms here along this thing. Like they tried putting porta potties one time, but the homeless people went in there and fucked them up so bad that they stopped doing it. So here we are. You can see in front of us there's a boat ramp, but that boat ramp is now closed. It's no longer open. And there was a game warden here one day making sure that it was locked. But if you go down there, which is hard for me to get down there because of that gate being so low, the big dummy can't slide under it. I can't slide it under that rail. Like trying to put it down on its, I've tried putting it down on its side. Now there is, you could go around on the left or right. You can see people have, if you look to the left and right of that gate. And I can go down there, and it's real nice to sit down there because right across from is a big power plant, so it kind of looks like a waterfall. And you can, there's a lot of debris down there, but you can sit along there too, and just be by the water. It's a nice spot. I just wish that they would do something with this gate, like raise it up a little bit or make some other kind of gate. If they're going to close it, make a gate with some kind of big ass door they can open during the day, you know, and then lock it at night. That'd be kind of cool. We're right up here now. Gear this thing down, or I'm not going to make it up this hill. There's another picnic table. I like to sit over there, cook food. It's a nice spot, nice shady spot. And up here, there's a little pavilion. I stop here a lot, cook food. I think there's even a grill up here. At least there used to be. I don't know if it's still there. Yeah, grill's still there. Little pavilion, some picnic tables. There's a woodchuck running off over there. Now you see that chimney up there, and there's like a little log structure. Well, there used to be a cabin there attached to that chimney, and it was Clark from Lewis and Clark. It was his home. He had a home here. He lived here back in the day. But a couple years ago, some kids burnt it down, is what I was told. Some kids caught it on fire and it burnt down. And it's a shame because that's like a piece of, you know, history. It was really cool. You used to be able to go and walk around it, look through the windows. I mean, yeah, it was just a log cabin, but it belonged to Clark, you know, from Lewis and Clark. It was freaking cool to see something like that and know at one time that man that took that epic adventure lived here. How cool is that? And if you're watch my channel a lot, you can see that right over here, I always hang out there in the summer because it's nice and shady and I can overlook the river. You can see, I don't know if you can see it, but the river's right out there. It's a nice spot to sit and grill food and just relax. It's nice and quiet here. No problems. All right. Let's get back on the greenway because we're almost to the what I call the halfway point. This video is getting kind of long, but let's get across this grass and back down here.
Now I'm going to go to Bass Pro.
All right. We'll get back on the, jump back on the greenway here. Most of this road goes along the greenway too, but they've had it blocked off for several years. I don't know why. Maybe it flooded and damaged the road because it looks pretty damaged. But now we're back on the greenway. And they have trails off of this greenway too, but you also can't ride your bike on them. It's not allowed. Little pirate ship playground for kids, kind of cool. And there's that little thing, and it had a fire ring in it, but I don't think you're allowed to make fires down here. And then of course, you know, they got little signs along this thing telling about different things. The core of discovery. Wow, they're really doing something over here. I haven't been over this way in a while. I don't know what they're doing, but they are doing something. They got a lot of slate. Oh, they're building something. Oh, look at that. That's very cool. I knew they were building an addition to, I think that's going to be an addition to a park up there on the hill. Some kind of structure they're building. The Vista at Origin Park. So this is where Origin Park's going to be. They're building a new park along, oh shit. Got all kinds of debris on the greenway here. Got to turn around. Come on, big dummy, you can make it. That's pretty cool. Origin Park. When it opens up, I'll have to check that out. There's a lot of work going on. I'm not going to go up there when they're working. Put their stuff right on the greenway. What the hell? Put it in the grass. What are you doing? Yeah. Building a new park. That'll be nice. Back up here on the greenway. There's a trail right over here that they put in, like last year, I think it was. It's called the Buttonbush Woods Mill Creek Trail, but it'll tell you on there. You can see there's no bicycles. Let's see. It's open dawn till dusk. says exactly. Let's see if I can keep this camera pointed in that direction. I don't know. The ideal if I could keep it right there. Hold on, we'll see if we can get it to stay there. It might stay there for a minute. Let's see. No camping or open fires. No alcohol, smoking, or drugs. No hunting or use of firearms. No dumping or littering. Be friendly and courteous. Do not disturb wildlife in their habitats. Keep pet leashed at all times. Trail length 0.75 miles. Mill Creek Trail. I guess it doesn't say anything about riding bikes. Doesn't say anything at all about it. Maybe you can ride your bike down there. I don't know. Pretty cool though. Not very long. Morning, brother.
Okay.
Good. All right. Get back on our journey here. I was riding this length of the Greenway one day, and I was coming back from New Albany, and right up here where these trees are overhanging, right here on the right, all of a sudden the sky got really dark. Started thundering and lightning, and then it started raining. Not hard, but it was just like a steady rain. And I pulled over under those trees right there so I could grab my rain suit. And pretty soon it started raining harder and harder, and all these people, it was on a weekend, and all these people on their bicycles pulled up, and they're all trying to get under the canopy of this tree. And a lot of them were soaking wet from getting caught out in it. And I whipped out my rain suit, threw it on, got back on my bike, and one of the cyclists said, "Well, you're very well prepared, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, why aren't you? Well, why would you go out and ride your bike if there's any possibility of rain unless you don't mind getting wet? I mean, if it's an 80-degree day, 90-degree day, who cares about getting wet? It feels good. But if the temperature is going to drop and you're going to get soaking wet, and you know how it is when you're wet and it's kind of cool out, and that wind starts blowing on you riding your bike, you just get chilled to the bone. But why not throw a rain suit on your bike somewhere? Put it in some kind of little bag and just throw it on there and leave it on there. That way, if you ever get caught out in the rain, you're good. You don't have to sit there and freeze to death. Because I've been out here on a nice day, and all of a sudden, it's weird, and I think it's because of the Ohio River, and it'll just suddenly change. Like if the temperature will drop, it'll start raining, it gets kind of cold. It blocks out the sun. Good to have a rain suit. Here's another little park. There's another little trail over there. They put a little park right here. Got a couple picnic tables. It's not really much. It's just a place to park your trucks and walk that Buttonwoods Trail over there. And there's got a place you can lock your bike up there, but I'm not locking my bike out here and leaving all my shit. It's not happening. I think if I could find the numbers, there's probably a lot of bicycles stolen in Indiana, especially Clarksville. See it quite often. Back on the Greenway. Morning. Yeah, I don't ride very fast. I don't see the need. I like to just cruise along and look at all the trees and the birds and different animals I see. I've seen turkey out here. I've never been fortunate enough to see any deer, but I know they're here. Seen some big ass turkeys along this greenway though, some woodchucks. In this greenway, it has many different access points. I just took the main route from Jeffersonville. I rode over from Clarksville all the way down downtown Jeff just to get that access point. And I'll make videos of other access points because there's quite a few of them. Like coming up, you see how the greenway goes straight. Well, if you go straight, you go back over towards Clarksville where I live. It kind of loops around. That was an addition they put on like 2 years ago. But you got to turn left here to go to New Albany. New Albany is 3 miles, Loop Island wetlands. So we're probably, if it's 7 miles, we're already past the halfway point. There's not supposed to be any motorized vehicles on here either. I was here one day, right on this part, and all of a sudden I hear this noise behind me. I turn around, there's 2 dudes on scooters, like motorized scooters, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, you can't be on here with that. Not that I'm trying to police anyone, but just a few minutes before they had showed up, a police officer rode by on a Yamaha e-bike. And I get why the police would have a motorized vehicle on here like an e-bike. And I don't think Indiana classifies them as motorized vehicles. But I get, if he has to get across the greenway, he gets a call from New Albany all the way over to Jeff, he has to get there quickly, if someone needs help. And I told him, I said that cop, he just went up there. If he sees you or hears you, you're going to get a fat fine. You might want to turn around and get back on the road. And they're like, all right, thanks. And they turn around and left. But it's also dangerous. There's children on here sometimes. Morning, brother. So we're coming up on a bridge here that goes across Silver Creek. And right up here, this is what I call the halfway point. It's probably further than halfway, but if you go further than this, like now you're getting a lot closer to New Albany. Might even be in New Albany once you cross this bridge, I don't know. But that's as far as I'm gonna go with this video. I hope y'all enjoy it. If I get a lot of views, I'll make the second half. If I don't, then I'll know no one cares. And I won't bother to make another one. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. And get out there and ride. Enjoy your life. Cook some food. Get away from work. Relax. It's Cargo Bike Cowboy. I'm signing out.